Yes, sir.
It's still buffering.
Right. It's live now.
It's live now.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
live.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 guys, we're back. Guys, we're back. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. First thing first, guys, before you walk in, please make sure you hit that like button. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Please make sure you hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Like always, thank you for tuning in to KL Culture Radio. Hakeem Jordan, what's cracking like him? What's cracking like him? What is cracking like him?
Man, just doing good, man. Trying to live it one more day.
Yes, sir. I'm good over here, man. Starting off a new week with the fellas. We about to get it in as we always do. It's Fresh Start Monday, so let's go, let's go, let's get it.
Like always, shout out to everybody that's watching us all across the boards: Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and also Twitch, Rumble, TikTok, YouTube. You already know Facebook. You're Bingo Live. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in on this Fresh Start Monday. It is Fresh Start Monday. Like always, man, we move along to sports, man. What a sports weekend it was. Go ahead, Jordan. What's going on when it comes to aspect of sports, big dog?
Let's get into it. So the NFL playoffs, the wild card weekend was a wild card madness. We had a couple games that really went to the end. Starting off with the Bears and the Packers. That was a great game. The Bears won that game. You had the Rams and the Panthers. The Rams won that game. The Bills, the Jaguars, that went to the end. The Bills won that game. And also Ronnie's 49ers. It was a big upset against the Eagles. Shout out to the 49ers. And then you had the Patriots and the Chargers. The Patriots beat the Chargers. And then we have one more game coming in tonight, Monday night, and that's the Texans and Steelers. So all the games was really good. Some games we were kind of surprised, some shock of, but we do have some clips for some of the coaches and players after their victory. And after that, we're gonna chop it up. I'll go over to these. I'll review these games. So go ahead, play the clips, and after that, we chop it up.
You go into the tournament coming off of 2 losses, man. You go into the tournament off of 2 losses. You look up at halftime in this game, and it's 21-3.
No panic.
No panic. None of it built for pressure. That's you guys. You go into the tournament coming off of 2 losses, man.
It's called Sky Bang Reverse Pass. Last time we called it, it was called Debo Bang Reverse Pass. I had to be on the right hash for the play because Juwan's not left-handed. So we were just hoping to get it around there. Clay suggested it. It was a hell of a suggestion. And Juwan threw a perfect ball, which made me a little scared. I thought he should just throw in a bad ball and put it on him. So I thought it was a hell of a catch by Christian. And I didn't see it, but knowing that he got roughed up and stuff just shows what a G Juwan is. High school quarterback. It's called Sky Bang Reverse Pass.
Yeah, so it's pretty much all the games set for tonight games pretty enough set. So here are the divisional games for next week. So yeah, Warrenburg game. Whoever wins this game tonight, either the Houston and Pittsburgh, will be playing against New England next week. So that being said, well, with all these games, what games that kind of surprised you, or what teams you kind of disappointed on? Go ahead, fellas.
My first, you already know, 2 games that surprised me the most. I think Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers because the Chicago Bears was down like 14 to close to 20 points. Came back in the
Hmm.
fourth and won and dominated the game. I think Taylor Williams did a phenomenal job being able to execute the ball. He was pretty much like a Tom Brady in our modern day time. I love to see that. I didn't really see the game in its full totality, but I did see some of the highlights. I was very, very stunned by that game. And you already know the same thing with my 49ers versus Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, we got our revenge back, but I'm just being totally honest. I thought we were gonna go over there and get destroyed. I didn't expect us going over there and come out a win. It was very nerve-wracking towards the end of the quarter. And then they fought very, very hard. For the 49ers to advance to go see the Seahawks over there in Seattle, to me, I'm still shocked by it because I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no way. Us being injury prone, and George Kittle got injured with a torn Achilles during the game. It was just very, very shocking to see. But 49 continue to put off. You know what that showed me? That never give up. You got to keep pushing forward, even though everything looked like it's impossible to pretty much find defeat, and they was able to defeat it. That's why everybody's still shocked about it. This is the most talk about topic right now in sports. The 49ers versus the Eagles. Nobody expect 49ers to come in there to win the way they did, and defense showed up a lot. And you already know Josh Allen. Josh Allen just being Josh. Go right ahead.
Now go ahead. You already said what I wanted to say, so I'm gonna pass it to you, Jordan.
All right, yeah. For me, I'm with you, Ronnie. Well, with Philly I didn't like to say you didn't. I didn't know where I was going to expect from Philly, but I didn't know that offense gonna look so weak as they did. And the thing is, Ronnie, I think your coach, he's the coach of the year. All the injuries that they had this year, and still pursuing it, and then at the end try to get the number one seed. Unfortunately, they did it and still make it to the next round. It's like y'all. It's like y'all magical right now. And I think when it comes to y'all play Seattle, I think y'all that's gonna go down to the wire because you gonna face this team for the third time in the same division. So 49ers, they're on the magic ride. Also the Packers and Chicago game. That first half, I thought it was over. Packers, that was just torturing. But then again, when it comes to the fourth quarter, the Bears has doing it all year. When it comes to the fourth quarter, at the last 5 minutes, they scored more than four. They had like 7 games where they had to come back and score more than 10 points when it comes to when it comes to the 5 minute mark. The Bears is doing it all year. And that Bears and Packers rivalry is serious. That's why you see Ben Johnson say after Packers, because that rivalry is real. Josh Allen, he's the only superstar quarterback to people think he might go to the Super Bowl. He beat a really good team against Jacksonville, and he's going to play the Denver Broncos. And then we have tonight's game, Houston and Pittsburgh, and that's going to be a nice matchup. And after that, whoever wins, see New England. So it's been very exciting NFL Wild Card Week. Very excited for tonight's game, and then just wait for next week and see some new some divisional weekend comes up when it comes to the NFL.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie. I think I see Pittsburgh winning this game because you can't count Aaron Rodgers out. People keep counting
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers out. You can't. And that Hakeem favorite on Pittsburgh going to the Super Bowl. I don't
And
see
they
that
got
Yep,
happening. I see them going to the second round.
and
I
Ronnie,
do.
they
I
got
do
the
favor them going.
DK coming back too off his suspension, so he's coming back.
Yeah, DJ Metcalf. Yeah, and he's coming back with a vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, share, subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember to click all because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Like always, shout out to everybody that's watching us all across the board, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and also Twitch. Shout out to those right now watching us on Rumble and also X. TikTok, Bingo Live. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in on this Fresh Start Monday. You already know we're moving along to money. Money makes the world go round. Money makes our pockets fat. Jordan, what's going on when it comes to aspect of financial news, big dog?
Let's get into it. Let's talk about how Americans are flocking to the Midwest for financial relief. So if you live in big cities like Miami, New York, Los Angeles, cities like that, that are very, very expensive. People, they can't afford to move to these cities. So now, people are flocking to the Midwest states like Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Ohio, Kansas, states like that, because as you can see, they're more affordable to live in compared to other states that's very, very expensive. So we do have a clip about it. So play the first 3 minutes of it, and after that, we'll chop it up.
From soaring housing costs to rising everyday expenses, some Americans are feeling priced out of their communities, and many are now turning to the Midwest for some relief. The region offers many things: the lowest median home prices in the country, along with lower rents compared to the national average. But it's not just cheaper, wages are growing faster too. That combination of bigger paychecks and lower costs is becoming America's best, worst kept secret. All right, so we got a couple, we got a Midwesterner, we got a transplant Midwesterner here. Okay, so we know what's good about the Midwest. We got some coastal dwellers as well. I get a little nervous, Taylor, about some of you Californians coming out to the Midwest.
I know.
But you can't argue with lower housing prices and higher wages.
No, and I'll keep this short and sweet. My favorite sign in Texas is "Don't California my Texas." Basically, don't bring all of your views and your high taxes to the state that you just moved to avoid all of that. I talk to a lot of friends my age, millennials, mid-30s, thinking of and forming families, and they're going to places like Salt Lake City because their companies allow them to work remote, and they can also have a great life. And yes, they can afford to build a family there and build a home. So what I like, I think one of my best lessons from COVID is we learned that money is a little bit more movable than it was pre-COVID. We've talked to a lot of business owners, and they say that if they want to hire the best talent, they have to go maybe where that talent is. We could talk about the merits of losing mentorship and the importance of being in office, and all of those are very real, and I like those. But I like that money and people can move where they are treated best.
Now, we should say the Midwest is kind of a diverse lot. It has places like North and South Dakota on the one hand. It also has places like Illinois and Minnesota on the other hand. So I don't know that everyone's viewing all those locations the same. But it is attractive, David.
It seems that most people in New York seem to think the Midwest is anything west of the Hudson River. Yeah. But no, you're right.
It's
very
an old
diverse.
New Yorker cartoon.
It is literally
right.
a New Yorker cartoon. That's right. I do not think that anyone has anything to fear about California and New York liberal politics going to Nashville and Dallas and Salt Lake City. It is the moderates and the conservatives that are moving to those places by and large. My company in the last 5 years has opened offices in Nashville, Phoenix, Dallas, Austin, Grand Rapids, Michigan, a lot of the middle part of the country, booming economies. The key here is not the wage growth. That's going well, but you need more jobs. Those big cities are getting new jobs. The smaller cities in the Midwest are not. That's the problem. So you need wage growth to follow an increase of jobs. If you get more jobs and more wages, the housing prices will go up. It would be news to people in Boise, Idaho, and Phoenix, Arizona, that they have cheap housing, because they do not.
Right.
Dagan, you're a kind of a Midwestern transplant and happy about it.
Yes. Sorry, I just love
Just so
Ohio.
happy about
I
it.
just love Ohio. But to David's point, the cities that are attracting the talent and the businesses, like we mentioned Oracle has decided to move its headquarters from Austin to Nashville, and it only just moved to Austin, 5 years ago? I think in 2020. But those cities are expensive and crowded. So you might get better policies because they're more conservative. They're not as crowded, they're not as expensive as places in very blue areas, but they're getting jammed up with folks. And the cities that, like where I am in Ohio, they're not great growth, controlled by liberals, not safe, problems with murder, crime, because of the liberal policies. So, but you do get, if you are looking for cheap real estate, you have to go to somewhere that the job opportunities aren't so great. So
Yep. So there you have it. They was talking about, Midwest with some kinds of financial relief. So, Pastor, you fellas, what you guys think about people moving to the Midwest due to financial relief?
This has been going on for years. I'm just surprised that this is a conversation now. Every year, I hear of somebody moving. Every year, I have friends who I'm connected to, and people migrate and they scatter where opportunities and prices fluctuate in housing. Sometimes people don't even care about the job. I think now, since the internet age, since a lot of people can work from home, it's a lot better to migrate. But I mean, I have friends who recently moved to Georgia. A lot of Miami people are moving to Georgia. A lot of Miami people are moving to Jacksonville.
Yep.
So, I mean, it makes sense that people are going to Ohio, Cincinnati, Detroit. Detroit is another place I'm hearing people are starting to try to influx and go to in that. So this is nothing new. I just think that in this season, it's like a big conversation.
Yes, it is. Hakeem, it's a big conversation because the fact is, people are being priced out by these some of these corporations are now coming to certain these cities and buying out these homes, so it's forcing people to pretty much to branch out than what they normally stay in a metropolitan area like a Miami, New York, Cleveland, Ohio, stuff like. They know that they're doing a lot of renovation and a lot of new pretty much new financial growth, so they people not able to afford these type of homes. And I keep you speak about that a lot. You say, hey, if you want to find like a real affordable home, you might have to move to Mississippi. You might have
That's
to
a
move
fact.
to Alabama. You have to move
Yep,
to Missouri. Some places that you won't feel comfortable moving in, but it makes sense if you're trying to pretty much not be slave to your home.
basically.
But it's a sad day that we live in America that people cannot be able to stay at home. And also, I think Donald Trump now have trying to sign a bill where he's trying to stop corporations from buying a lot of homes, especially in this metropolitan area.
Mm.
Yeah, and here living in California, Los Angeles, I'm like I said, born and raised in Michigan. I get a lot of people, that's been born and raised here, talk about, house, cost of living in Michigan. And I gave them and I let them know it's like, yo, it's much cheaper. It's not like, the bad thing is it's not like, a lot of jobs are here in Los Angeles every day. But, if you move to in the metro Detroit area and everything, you might have to find a good living and everything like that. And when it comes to these homes out here, you find like a two-bedroom in South Central. It's like $600, $700,000 per home when it
Yep,
comes to living in South Central and everything. I mean, if you get out of the city, if you go to the inland empires where might find built homes, maybe at 400 or 500, which me and my wife is going to check out this year out in that area for houses and everything. See, we could like it and everything, but at the end of the day, when it comes to here in California, it's very extremely expensive. And people here, they want to see, what's other states, especially in the Midwest, what they can find and live and what they can, afford for them and also their family as well. So, Hakeem, you nailed it. So this is going on for some time and everything, even though, when it comes to living in the Midwest, it's definitely a different climate change because,
yep,
it's not sunny and good great weather like year round, like in Florida, which you guys live in, and also here in California. Go to the
yep,
Midwest, it's gonna get cold. It's gonna be a little bit colder. You're gonna experience, especially in the wintertime, you're gonna experience snow. You're gonna experience, cold. And then, like, if you live like up in the Midwest, like Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, and Minnesota, January, February, the winters are brutal because you might hit 0 to minus temperatures during January, February, and everything. And that's some people. And then when it comes to that, people don't like to afford it and everything. But at the end of the day, when it comes to affordability, when it comes to lower taxes, a lower cost of housing, in the Midwest, people will say, hey, I have no choice, and if it's for me, for better for me and for my family, I'm going to do it and everything. And you guys said it. It's sad that live in America and and the states that people do they wants to live in, Texas, California, New York, they can't because they can't afford it and everything. It's not the American dream that we once talked about. We was, back in the 90s and the 80s. So yeah, when it comes to people moving to the Midwest, it's gonna we probably continue to see a jump in that. And it's gonna be, and we're gonna hear more people from big cities, keep moving to these Midwest cities because they can't afford to live in these big cities. And it's just sad to see that America is like that.
Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Like always, shout out to everybody that's watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and also Twitch, Rumble, X, TikTok. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in on this Fresh Start Monday. Moving along to hip hop. Jordan, what's going on when it comes to hashtag of hip hop news, big dog?
Let's get it. Let's get into it. So Snoop Dogg, the great legend Snoop Dogg, was at the Golden Globes. He was an interviewer and also he was a presenter as well. And let's just say Snoop Dogg had a really, really good time because as he was sitting there the award, he said he was high right now. And they had to censor that out and everything, but people, knows that hey, that's Snoop Dogg, everybody loves it and everything. So we do have a clip of this at him at the Golden Globes. So go ahead and play the clip and after that we'll chop it up.
You all are winners. But the real winner, I'm high as a motherfucker right now. Y'all had me here too damn long. The winner is Good Hang with Amy Poehler.
But yeah, it just shows, when it comes to, as like I said, Snoop Dogg is one of the big brands, and when it comes to be at anywhere, everybody gonna show love to Snoop Dogg, and they know how he is, for how long he's been out and everything. So with that being said, fellas, what's you guys take at for the Golden Globes having Snoop Dogg at the event?
Hip hop has transcended to different areas of other life and entertainment in America. So this is just a new feed. This is Murder Was the Case that they gave me. This is Snoop Dogg. So he has reinvented himself to be a cultural icon. So he's a part of the fabric of the United States and the fabric of entertainment, movies, stars. So this is just another level as he gets older and as he gets into more of a legend status.
Yep, that's pretty much it. It's moving on to a whole nother level, man, when it comes to aspect of the Golden Globe. They're trying to do something interesting. They're trying to get people to watch it. Because recently people have not been watching the Golden Globe like it used to. But bringing someone like Snoop Dogg, someone that's a legend, that's into hip hop, into the rap game, guy have a little bit of charismatic towards him, it's gonna force you to watch it. So that's pretty much what they're doing. I think the Golden Globe did a tremendous job. But one thing I don't like when Snoop Dogg be doing things like that, he be going on stage, seem like he not self-aware, and you always mention the fact that he's smoking something. To me, you don't have to mention it. Just do your thing and then walk out the stage, man. But it was very funny. People find it be hilarious, but I don't think it was hilarious. I think it was all way out of pocket. Just my personal opinion.
Yeah, when it comes to Snoop Dogg, everything he touches, it goes viral. It's just him. Last week he was at the he's one of the anchors at the basketball game when it comes to the Clippers and everything. And people was watching there. So when it comes to Snoop Dogg, everything he go, everywhere what he does, Golden Globes, uh, award shows, Oscars, whatever. If they want to have somebody like a Snoop Dogg that that people will watch, and he's just him. People was gonna watch and everything, and what he did, people was laughing, and probably got some viral moments, and people got some tipped in because people they don't watch Golden Globes. They saw Snoop Dogg and say, "Hey, let me watch this" and everything. Also, when it comes to when he performed on the Netflix in the Christmas Day halftime show, Snoop Dogg performed, and he had one when it comes to the views. That was the number one viewed football game the Netflix had ever had and everything. So If you want to make money, you want to get views, contact Snoop Dogg, and he'll do it for you.
Yeah, I apologize that for why high. I don't know the main account on YouTube, Cal Culture Radio went down for some apparent reason. I was trying to fish it in the back while we was live streaming, but it seemed like we went live and then just completely turned off. But luckily, mine's is still working on my side. So people watching my side, thank you for tuning in on Cal Culture Radio on my side or YouTube.
So the YouTube is not working on Chaos Culture Radio?
No, it went down. That's why I was telling you. I put that in the chat. I told you that it went down. I don't know what's going on today with Restream. It's just
it stopped right after during the video of the financial topic. That's when it stopped.
Oh, okay.
We stopped, yeah. So, but lucky.
Sorry, folks. Ronnie went back. He'll be back just a moment. But like I say, guys, appreciate you guys for watching us. We always love you. Appreciate you watching us. It's so weird.
Yeah, I'm back. That was it. It's something that's acting weird today. Normally, sorry for the technical difficulty, folks. This normally doesn't happen, but technical difficulty happens, guys. So it's part of the game when you're live streaming. So thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Like always, shout out to Evelyn Perez that's in the building. Well, she was on with the Chaos Culture Radio side, but it went off. So shout out to her. Hopefully when she rewatches, she'll see that pretty much everything else. And Wild High also comment on the Chaos Culture Radio side before it went off. He was talking about the insurance company. He said insurance company are doing the same thing to homeowners, which is true. They're trying to buy areas out and make it hard for the regular American people to go ahead and buy a home. That's also a fact. And then Wild High also came in when he talking about the hip hop topic. You would say, I think it was raining up in the strip club. I get what you're saying, man. But like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember to click all, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. And once again, our apology for the technical difficulty. Those that are watching us on YouTube, sincerely apologize. We'll get to the bottom of it when the show is over to see what's going on with Restream. But like always, thank you guys so very much for tuning in on this Fresh Start Monday. Shout out to those watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, Twitch, Rumble, X, TikTok, Bingo Live. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in each and every time we go live. We got a lot of things to cover, especially when it comes to the aspect of Donald Trump doing something very interesting when it comes to the aspect of the credit card company. But before we do that, Jordan, what's going on with the Georgia teen getting charged for child support scam?
Yeah, man, this is crazy right here. So a Georgia teen is charged after allegedly taking thousands in child support for a child that wasn't hers. That was not hers. So let's get into it. Go ahead, play the clip, and after that, we will chop it up.
Well, we talked about those couple of fraud cases, one at the state capitol, the other up in Minnesota. A local woman now in trouble with law for allegedly committing fraud against an old boyfriend to the tune of thousands of dollars. Let's get out to Doug Evans, who's on top of this story for us this afternoon. Doug?
Hey, good afternoon, Tom. You know, it's not unusual for someone to bilk an ex out of child support payments. That's happened before. But this story has a different twist, and it's one that the Coweta County Sheriff's Office wants to get out there in case there are other victims or anyone who might have information about it. Let's roll some video for you and show you who we're talking about. It was not a good New Year's Eve for 18-year-old Bria Hardy. She was taken into custody here at the Sheriff's Office and charged with theft by deception. We're told her ex-boyfriend came up here in early December, told investigators that he believed that he was the victim of a scam perpetrated by Hardy, in which he had paid her over $7,000 in child support payments. She claimed to him that they had had a child together, a little baby, and that he was responsible for helping her to raise this baby, and even sent him photographs and everything else. Turns out in the investigation that the child was not his. Turns out that the child wasn't hers either, belonged to somebody else. Well, investigators here are asking anyone who has information on this case or had any dealings with her before to contact them. As we said, fraudulently requesting child support payments from an ex is not necessarily anything new, but using somebody else's child to do it, even sending the photographs. So Coweta County investigators want to make sure that there's nobody else out there. So if you have any information, they're asking you to call the Coweta County Sheriff's Office and share that information with them. Theft by deception is the charge here. And again, she was taken into custody hours before midnight at the start of the new year.
Wow, man, that's crazy right there. But that being said, fellas, what's your take on this?
This doesn't surprise me one bit. Go ahead, King.
Me either.
This one.
Me either. Listen, this is why paternity theft, child support is going to get restructured in America, and it's only going to harm women due to shit like this. Now things is going to even out the playing field, because how do you fraud a man for a child that's not even his?
They didn't do a good job doing a thorough investigation when it comes to aspect of the child support. That's why.
And that's the thing. But I think he was just giving the money to her directly. Like, he probably was green too. But that's how most men want to step up. So now it's on a situation where he was giving her money and she lied, and she feels like she shouldn't have to go to jail.
I disagree. I think she should go to jail. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, she is going to go to jail, but she might feel like it's not. And a lot of other women might think like, oh, this ain't nothing, but paternity fraud is real. And this is why a lot more men now do not want to have kids. They don't want to get married because they don't want to fall into these type of traps.
The problem is like you said, Hakeem, the child support is not very structured very well. So anybody could go in there and claim anybody's child that's not really theirs. And some of these women, they're very smart in that. They study, they do research, and also they look in different videos on, no offense, TikTok, and people are giving them the game to know how to use the system and how to fraud the system. But hopefully, like you said, they've structured it very well, because they are good men who are being misused, mistreated when it comes to aspect of the child support. To me, this is very sickening, and this is very, very alarming, because if they don't get this together, more men is going to be affected by something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And it shows you in the state of Georgia that the child support laws are broken. There's other states, Michigan, New York, that that can be even worse than everything. And you can see, some of these women, like you see right now, they'll do their information. And when it comes to, with the child support laws, them having a kid by somebody that's, you have a kid by somebody that, they like, then when it comes later, having a baby they don't like later, they'll use the child support against the man. But now when it comes to this and everything, when it comes to scamming and everything, there's a lot of women out there that will scam stuff like this, and you guys are correct in saying, yo, I don't believe I need to go to jail because hey, this is my money, this is what I deserve and everything. You might think you deserve it, but you don't, and you're gonna go right straight to jail and everything. So man, just really, really watch yourselves, when it comes to, who you have your kids with, because you don't want to end up like this. But unfortunately, it happens to a woman and everything. But you want to end up when it comes to, you being in child support, you got to pay all this money, and to all the way up to the 18 and everything. But when it comes to this woman right here, yo, hopefully a lot of women seeing this, yo, when it comes to these child support scams, you ain't gonna go too far, because you mess around, you're gonna go to jail.
Why had come in? He said, men are afraid of the community to a woman in a relationship, because if she cheats, men are clowned by other men. That is true. That is very true, especially in that aspect of our community. I don't know if you guys want to comment on this one, because he did. Why had make a good point on this one, that men are afraid in committing to a woman in a relationship, because if she cheats, men are clowned by other men.
I don't necessarily you're gonna get clowned by other men. I think there's more chance you might get clowned by more of a woman than a man. I don't think men really gonna clown you like that, especially in this generation. How you feel about that, Hakeem?
Well, I agree with you. I don't think nobody's gonna clown. I think a lot of people are gonna be sympathetic. to what he's going through, because there's a lot of men who is going through this stuff right now as we speak. You know what I mean? There's guys who are taking care of kids who on birth certificates, and the kids are not even theirs. But the women never gets judged or criticized for that. And you say to yourself, hey, you knew this child wasn't mine, but I went and obviously took care of it. A lot of us are just gonna jump into the world, but we're leaving the woman to be honest about, you know what I mean, the paternity of the child. So we'll never question a woman's body and say, hey, I knew she didn't cheat on me, so this has to be my baby. But now you're using this to get money. That's the most disgusting thing about it.
Moving on to other trending news. Jordan was coming to aspect of the journalist under fire for supporting a Jaguar head coach.
Yeah, so the Jacksonville Jaguars, they lost to the Buffalo Bills. They had a great season. They went like 13-4, and after the loss, one of the black journalists told the head coach Liam Cohen to keep your head up and everything. You did had a phenomenal season, and that was super viral. But there's some people had backlash of her doing that, because when it comes to their loss, usually journalists they ask questions to criticize what happened. And she got on the on a news channel and really talk about it. So we're gonna put a clip of her and also her getting praised to Liam Cohen, and then after that we'll chop it up.
Went in on this, and he said nothing awesome about this, called you fake media, said that you shouldn't even have been up there asking those kind of questions. So when you heard that, how did that make you feel?
I don't take no offense to it.
Kind of went in on this, and he said nothing awesome about this.
I've been in this business more than 25 years. I've interviewed from Barack Obama to Terry Bradshaw to what's my guy named Tiger Woods. So he can say whatever he wants about fake news. I am a member of the Black Press, NNPA. I've been in this business more than 20. The National Newspaper Association, that's been around more than 100 years. I'm the associate editor of the Jacksonville Free Press, one of the more than 230 African-American newspapers still printing in this country today. In Jacksonville, you have the Florida Star since 1980. The National 55, we've been around since 1986. In Philadelphia, the Philly Tribune has been printing since 1884. In my hometown of Detroit, the Michigan Chronicle has been printing since 1935. So support the Black Press. So you can call me fake all you want to, honey. I've been doing this a long time.
Let me tell you something.
People 55, we just want to tell you congratulations on your success, young man.
Thank
you.
you.
Hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season.
Thank
you. You did a great job out there today.
Appreciate
so you
it.
just hold your head up, okay? I just want to tell you congratulations. Okay?
Thank
and
you,
ladies
ma'am.
and gentlemen, Duval, you the one, all
Thank
right?
you, ma'am.
keep it going. We got another season, okay?
I appreciate
Take
it.
care and much continued success to you and the entire team.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay?
Yeah, fellas. So my question to y'all is: do you guys have any problem for this black journalist giving Liam Cohen high praise of of the great job this season they had?
To me, she ain't do nothing wrong. I think she did what she felt was right at the moment. Because remember, keeping in mind, they did had a good season. They were like 13-4. They just didn't show up when it came to Asbel playing against the Buffalo Bills. But I already told people the Buffalo Bills, they're right now in a good opportunity to win it all because there is no opposition against them. So I already knew coming in there, Buffalo Bills was going to win it. But this coach right here, he did a phenomenal job. Remember, some key components was hurt, but they were still able to go to playoffs. That's all that mattered. They were still able to go in the playoffs, and there's going to be many more opportunity. I think he need to give himself a pat on the back. I think she did nothing totally wrong. I don't understand why the black media is going after her. Probably because it's a white man. That's probably what it is. A black woman getting a white man praise. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't even matter because Jacksonville Jaguars did have a tremendous season.
Yeah, so she was just giving that man praise, and a lot of people do not like to hear that. But I want to give that lady credit. Regardless of this is hometown love. She's a football team lover, and we all gonna just like I'm a Dolphins fan. I've been supporting the Dolphins when they win and when they lose. You never hear me say I support any other team but the Dolphins. So, and that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got a black journalist from Duval showing you love like that. That means that the head coach is loved there. He is loved there. They are very the fans for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Duval. They are very very excited for this Jaguars team. I thought the Jaguars was not going to make the playoffs this year. I thought it's going to have some improvements and maybe make it next year. But they cracked all of that. And Trevor Lawrence, the last 8 games, he was on fire. He was one of the top quarterbacks that was playing right now. But yeah, man, I like to see a lot of not just her, but I would like to see a lot of media people when it comes to people that lose to the playoffs like that. Show credit to the head coaches like that because one of the reasons she went viral because she showed so much love to the head coach Jacksonville Jaguars. If you go to other teams and they lose, you're not gonna hear anything like that. But yeah, man, she had done nothing wrong. She has shown her love, her being not just a journalist, but also a Jacksonville Jaguar fan as well. So, man, like I said, for her, he deserved the praise because they did had a really, really good season. A season that I thought it wasn't gonna come. So, people they need to lay it off of her because she did nothing wrong but give this man praise. And hopefully, Jacksonville Jaguars they might have another good season next year, and maybe they might be maybe they make it to the Super Bowl. You never know.
Okay,
Thank
and
you.
ladies and gentlemen,
At all.
Duval.
Shout out to Jacksonville Jaguars. They did a tremendous job. Keep up the great work. They worked hard. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember to click all because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Shout out to everybody that's watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, Twitch, Rumble, TikTok, Bingo Live. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in on this Fresh Start Monday. Main topic on today's show, President Trump pushed for cap on a credit card rate. Jordan, what's going on with that, big dog?
Yeah, so Donald Trump, he sees what comes to these credit card companies. He think, when it comes to these, a lot of these credit cards are charging a high interest rate when it comes to these Americans. And he want to put a stop to it and try to put a less than a 10% cap for a 1 year 10% cap on it, for the Americans. And he's really trying to push on it. So go ahead. We have a clip on it. Go ahead and play the clip. And after that, we'll chop it up.
President Donald Trump says he wants to put a limit on credit card interest rates. Trump says credit card companies are ripping off the American public and is calling for a 1-year cap on interest rates at 10% beginning as soon as January 20th. Now, here to break this down, editor-in-chief at Investopedia, Caleb Silver. Caleb, thanks for joining me. How might this cap affect credit card users and their banks?
Well, if that cap was at 10%, that would almost cut in half what APRs are on average for credit cards right now. They're somewhere between 19.5% and 21.5% on average. But if you have poor credit, you may be paying as much as 30%. So that would lower the interest payments that borrowers are making on a month in, month out basis just to service their credit card debt. That could bring down costs a lot for families, especially when you consider the fact that the average credit card debt is around $7,000 per borrower right now. And the average borrower is paying somewhere between $900 and $1,100 a year in interest payments. If that's cut in half, that goes down to $500 or $600, and that's some serious savings.
Now, all of this comes as Americans struggle with debt. Could this also affect how many people can qualify for a credit card?
Yeah, and you could see the credit card industry not liking this news at all if this were to go through, either through executive action or through legislation. So what would they do? They would tighten lending standards, and that would push borrowers who don't have good credit, who they don't want to lend to, out to other services like buy now, pay later, or payday loans, which could be a little bit more dangerous. So the credit card industry and the banking association, the big lobby that backs this industry, does not want this to happen at all. Yet this is a campaign promise that Trump made while he was on the campaign tour coming in to office this year, and he'd like this to go into place, as you said, by January 20th, a year from the inauguration.
All right, I want to switch gears a little bit. Mortgage rates, they've now dropped to the lowest level in nearly 3 years. Trump ordered officials to begin buying $200 billion worth of mortgage bonds in his latest push to lower costs. Now, do you think this could help push rates even lower?
Yeah, it already has. If you look at the action that happened on Friday, rates went to the lowest level that we've seen in 3 years. Why? Because he wants to authorize Fannie Mae, which was the biggest backer of home loans, to buy mortgage-backed securities. What does that mean? Taking supply off the market in terms of that debt and making it cheaper to borrow. And that is what's pushing rates down. So $200 billion is not a lot in the grand scheme of the housing market, yet it is another incremental step that could bring down mortgage rates just in time as the Federal Reserve is set to lower interest rates at at least once more in 2026, maybe twice.
All right.
With that, with that being said, guys, what's your take on? I'm sorry, got something in my throat. So, what's your take, guys, on Donald Trump trying to cap the credit cards?
It's a good thing because a lot of people spend millions of dollars on interest. Now, mind you, um, so look at some have zero APR rates, but then after that, some have 28%, 15% on that. Like I particularly have a card that has 16% APR interest on a credit card. That's pretty goddamn high. So he wants to limit to a point where you're not going to spend no money because we know that Americans suffered millions and millions of dollars of credit card debt. So this can ease in the blow, but also going to restrict credit cards from making the amount of money because they make money off the fees of interest rates.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of the credit card companies is trying to combat what Trump is trying to do because gotta keep in mind Hakeem and Jordan, they're making money off of these people not able of these interest rates because they know at the end of the day a lot of these American people cannot afford some of these credit cards. Some people got 10 band on a credit card limit and they know that they only make a close every month like $2,000. They cannot afford it. So they do that because it's the interest rate. They make money based on the interest rate. That's how they generate money. It's interest rate. So if people understand that whole aspect of credit card and how credit card works, a lot of people won't be having credit card. They'll just be still using cash. But because of the you can see the millennium keeps going on, and look, Generation X. That's why I went back. Generation X. Look how money the interest rate are. It continues to skyrocket. So that's why they're saying that Generation X is going to be suffering in the near future due to the fact of this interest rate. So Trump right now is trying to save American people from paying all this interest rate when it comes to aspect of credit cards.
Yeah, when it comes to the credit card companies, they will fight hard. They will go to Congress. They will go to Congress and say, "Yo, do not let Trump do this." They will fight because for the credit card companies, it's not fair to them. But Trump is looking at when it comes to America, when it comes to us Americans, he thinks the credit card companies, they try to put one on us as they always do and everything. So for me, as for every American, they should, like this, to see, want to see something like this happening and everything. But this will be a long-standing fight. They will fight to the rims of Trump to not let Trump do this and everything. And do I see it happening? No, but because of how hard the credit cards companies will fight. But hey, I would like to believe so. Hopefully, it can work out for us. If it does, that'll be a good thing when it comes to us as Americans, from Generation X all the way to the Generation Z's.
Like always, guys, let us know what you think when it comes to aspect of Trump trying to get pretty much cut this credit card interest rate. Shout out to White House Walls in the building, but I say, what's your opinion on company charging 2 or 3% on top of the rate credit cards company charges?
Highway robbery.
It is like Amazon.
Highway robbery. And this is why these things have to be capped. You have to have regulation. The credit card company has been moving like it's wild, wild west. They've been eating for so long, it's ridiculous. And luring kids in colleges and them because they know, hey, the best way to make money is debt. And credit cards understand that they have an algorithm to know that, okay, we can make $10,000 off of each person by them just racking up the credit card. Because a lot of us don't have the money to pay the credit card balances off every month. Why rack it up?
Good point, Hakeem. I don't have nothing else to say. Hakeem pretty much did the Don DeMarco. Like, share, subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember to click all because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Shout out to everybody watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and also Twitch, Rumble, X, TikTok. You already know Facebook. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in each and every time we go live. And we can't forget about you guys on Bingo Live. Because Bingo Live, we love you guys so very much. Glad close to 80 people watching us right now on Bingo Live. Moving on to other trending news. Jordan, what's going on with Stephen A. Smith getting criticized for being a Uncle Tom?
Yeah, so Stephen A. Smith, he was on ABC News Live, talking about his book and everything. And then the question was talking about how, some in our black community they think that Stephen A. Smith is Uncle Tom because he talked about a lot because he talks about a lot of black people, majority black players, and people think that he's Uncle Tom. So we do have a clip on it, so go ahead and play the clip. And after that, we'll chop it up.
You talk about how when you were first starting with, quite frankly, you were concerned that the black community might see you as a sellout, as an Uncle Tom. And as you know, some of those criticisms have come about lately. And I want to just play a quick clip to get your reaction.
Sure. To use your platform in order to not only come for me, but consistently kind of have a track record of coming for black women, I was just very disappointed in him.
They're paying you not for your numbers, my friend. They're paying you because you are willing to say the nasty things about black people that they want to say.
Your reaction?
They should be ashamed of themselves. Where's your evidence?
Well, with Crockett, you have apologized.
Well, let me tell you what I apologized for. Trump followed up what I said by calling her low IQ and stuff like that, which I found appalling. She's a highly educated woman. She's licensed to practice law in the state of Texas, Arkansas, and federally. She's a United States representative. She's an influential, intelligent, decent, good black woman who cares a lot about black people in this country. So I apologized for assisting in any way this notion that it's okay to say that about her, because I didn't want any parts of that. But I did feel that the situation was overblown. I was simply saying, is cursing the president out and calling him a piece of on national television or in front of a national audience going to help your constituency? I wanted to know the answer to that question.
You know, it's not just Joy Reid and...
Let me say something about Joy Reid. Let's get this out of the way. I don't know this woman. I've met her one time. I shook her hand once. I've never spoken to her in my life. And she's responding that way because when she got fired by MSNBC, her show got canceled. I spoke on it. And what I said was, she is a talent, highly intelligent woman. I respect her. The issue, however, is that if your numbers drop 47% and you are black, in this culture that we're living in, did you really expect something else to happen? Of course they were going to do that to you. I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, I get what you're saying and you might be right. But the manner in which you're going about it, that ain't going to serve you well long term.
But why is it that many black women have had this criticism on Stephen A. Smith?
Who are the many? Because I think there are a few.
In your book, you talk about how...
So there you have it, Stephen A. explaining himself. So other than that, fellas, what you guys take on this?
Here's the problem. We say this, and I want to ask y'all guys a question. Do you feel that a large percentage of black men are conservative here in the United States?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Okay. A lot of us, me, you, Jordan, we all have some conservative views and some liberal stuff about us. Now, Stephen A. Smith is a person who makes money and he's a conservative. He has his own way to think. I don't know what he has said for people to call him an Uncle Tom because he has an opinion. He's never said they were dumb. He's never said, run, nigga, run. He's never said none of like this. People need to stop using race cards and try to play these games to try to point a finger to discredit him. The problem they have is he doesn't lean so far to the left. He's not a liberal as women like men who are downright supporting every liberal ideas. No, we're not like that. We have our own mind. Just because black women are liberals and Democrats, not all black men are. We have our own way of thinking. So if that makes us an Uncle Tom, so be it.
The whole aspect of Stephen A, he like to clear up the air because the fact is he keep continuing to get backlash. And people fail to realize he is a journalist man that have his own political views. So when he comes in and talking about certain issue, it may seem to the audience that he is being an Uncle Tom, but no, he's just being a conservative. He's seeing the evidence that's presented before him. And that's all it is to it. When you're a journalist, there's going to be a lot of criticism, a lot of backlash that you may not like. But at the end of the day, you got to stand firm on what you believe in and what you stand for. And I think Stephen A. Smith did a tremendous good job when it comes to aspect of this interview. He didn't really say anything wrong, anything out of the pocket. And remember, people do things just to go viral and to reach the algorithm. At the end of the day, some people agree with some of the criticism Stephen A. Smith had towards certain politicians.
And also one thing is too, people that don't like Stephen A. Smith because how large of the platform he has on his podcast. He really built up his podcast and everything. At first he was talking about sports and everything. And now he's like, you know what, this is my podcast. Let me reach you other things. Let me get into politics and everything, which, that he's really, really like to do and everything. And, all the conservative views that he has when it comes to what he's saying and everything, a lot of people don't like it. And that's why they call him Uncle Tom. Of him, lead, and people think, him is stuff that he agree or disagree with. When he agrees with Trump, everything. Well, I was to say this: when he agrees a lot more things with Trump and everything, people think he's over time. But there's also things that he does disagree about Donald Trump. But people don't look at that. But they still look at because they think about all the stuff he does agree about Donald Trump and everything. That's why you see a lot of backlash you get from Black women that get in a home and everything. So when it comes to politics and everything, a lot of people get emotional because they feel they believe when it comes to if you're a hard liberal, you're a hard conservative, you believe one thing, and then if you got somebody else that disagree with you, people take it to heart. They don't take hey, I disagree with you, and then leave it at that. They take it too hard. They yell, they scream, they say how dare you, this and that, and that's what we see from people that get that Stephen A. Smith and everything. So. When it comes to Stephen A. Smith, people, like I said, people are hating because of the platform that he has to speak on his podcast, and where and how he speaks. People get butthurt over what they're saying, and they attack against him and everything. And Stephen A. Smith, he doesn't, he's not vulgar to the women, to people that he's talking to, women or men and everything. He don't go vulgar at them, because if he went vulgar, if he went vulgar to him, then we'd have a different conversation. But he don't say anything vulgar. He speaks his mind of what he's talking about. If he agrees with somebody or disagrees, that's really it.
Moving along to other trending news, Jordan. What? Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna say something. Oh no. Moving on to other trending news, Jordan. What's going on with the passing of T.K. Carter?
Yeah, so the legendary actor T.J. Carter passed away at 69. He was in movies like Corvette Summers, a very, very 78 movie. He was in Runaway Train, which that was a really, really good movie. And also he was on the TV series that I like to make on the corner. So rest in peace to TJ Kirkland. He had a very, very long acting career. Other than that, fellas, you guys, what's your take on the TK Carter, in his career and his passing?
Tremendous.
I remember him. Tremendous. One of the phenomenal actors. I known him from other movies, but I really know him from The Wire. No, was it The Wire?
Family Matters.
Family Matters, yeah. But
yeah.
Huh?
He's on The Corner.
The Corner. That's what it is. Yeah, The Corner.
Yeah.
It was based on Baltimore. It was like an offset of The Wire. And he played a good role, man. But you want to know, so this is life, man. As we get older, our legend starts to pass, and soon, and we just be able to appreciate. I just thank him so much for leaving a good body of work for us to enjoy for years to come.
Yep, that's all that matters is to it. It's a sad case, but like people, like Hakeem said, as we get older, people in our generation tend to leave this earth, and now it's a new kid generation. Pretty soon, we're now starting to become the old head for the newer generation. So that's how it is. We just keep living on and on and on and on and on. That's why the whole aspect I love podcasting, because it's always good to give back. It's also good to have conversations with people, because as we leave this earth, the next generation is going to go over and take over. That was very discouraging when you see someone like Kai Cenat taking a break from screaming just because he feel overwhelmed. Because someone like him, who works tremendously hard, especially when it comes to a black man in Hollywood, that's not easy to get into, and to come out to be that successful. Man, thank him so very much for his tremendous hard work, man. This man did it. Man, he was in a lot of great movies, man. I can say that.
Yes, absolutely. When I first heard this news, I was, I reminisced of some of the movies and shows that he was in, because he is definitely, for me, he's definitely a memorable actor. What I see him from and everything. But yeah, he will definitely be missed. And rest in peace to TJ, and thoughts and prayers go out to his family.
Last topic on today's show, Jordan, what's going on with this Minnesota suing Trump administration for the immigrant riot of the federal shooting of Renee Good?
Yeah, so with that, it had the shooting happened almost 2 weeks ago, and now Minnesota is planning to sue Trump administration over the fatal shooting and also the immigrant raids. So we do have a clip. Go ahead and play the clip, and after that, we'll chop it up.
We're here to announce a lawsuit we're filing against the United States Department of Homeland Security to end the unlawful, unprecedented surge of the federal law enforcement agents into Minnesota. Because this has to stop. It just has to stop. We allege that the obvious targeting of Minnesota for our diversity, for our democracy, and our differences of opinion with the federal government is a violation of the Constitution and of federal law. We allege that the surge, reckless impact on our schools, on our local law enforcement is a violation of the 10th Amendment and the sovereign laws and powers of the Constitution grants to states. And we're here to announce a lawsuit we're filing against the United States Department of Homeland Security to end the unlawful, unprecedented surge of the federal law enforcement agents into Minnesota. Because this has to stop.
Yeah, and then I found out, according to the Customs and Borders Protection agents, they said that we sending 1,000 more immigrant officers heading to Minneapolis. So with this news, fellas, what you guys take on this?
It's not going to do anything. They can sue all they want to, but you already see that you have some people on the right side saying this is a great idea what ICE is doing. Then you have some people on the left side saying this is a bad idea. We need to sue. We need to get rid of ICE. At the end of the day, what is right for the American people? Like I told Hakeem on the last show, I've seen the videos several times from different angles and how they were traded to be. You got liberal rules that trying to pretty much store up a narrative, and how the end of the day that didn't work like George Floyd did. So, the ICE was wrong in this situation. Yes, I think he need to be prosecuted. However, when it comes to ICE doing a job, when it comes to aspect of American, or when it comes to aspect of immigrants, a lot of people agree that they're doing a tremendous job. So it's going to be very, very hard for Minnesota to sue Trump administration, especially when he have majority of the House, Senate, and we could go on and on and on. Go right ahead, Hakeem.
This is just another situation that, sadly enough, a woman lost her life, but I wish she could have complied to the command. So now they're saying that they're sending more thousands. I would like to ask them a question. Why are they sending thousands of more ICE agents? Do y'all have an immigrant issue there? Is Minneapolis a sanctuary city? And that's the question. And don't get me wrong, I sympathize with immigrants because, and not saying that I agree 100% with the policy, but you've got to understand and look at it from the lens of what's going on. They doing this for a reason. And don't get me wrong, some laws could have been broken. They could have been extra on some stuff, but this not going to be stopped. And they're going to go to every city in America until they meet their quota, which is what? How many thousands a week? What they say? 3,000 a week?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Hey, man. And I want to land with this. A lot of people looking at there's an immigrant issue here. Go to the UK. Go to Canada. I got a friend in Canada who they're telling me that the Canadians are deporting thousands of people a day too. Nobody's talking about that.
No,
Romania.
You won't see that in the liberal news. You just won't. They won't say that.
Bulgaria, a lot of these other countries do not accept immigrants. So it's asinine to think that we should not have an issue with it when immigrants might cause some issues here, and when other countries do not play this game. I land right there.
And the thing is about it, Hakeem, when it comes to America, a lot of people think, any race, ethnicity should come and have a good life, legally or illegally. That's how it's supposed to be, and that people feel that way. But with regard to the Trump administration, that they say no, we're gonna be like some of these countries. You're gonna tighten up our immigrant patrol, and and we're gonna kick them out. I don't. When it comes to some type of force they're doing, I do not like that. When it comes to breaking down families, I do not like that. I do not like that whatsoever. But we are in a term of Trump that he's going to go to every major city, and go and try to get as many immigrants out of here and everything. And it's very, very sad to see when it comes to people that have families and friends and all that type of things. And seeing that an American got shot over this that she shouldn't be in that situation, but unfortunately she got shot and killed, and it happens like that. But people, you just gotta protect your health. You guys gotta protect yourself. Just really be in your homes. Don't be in the area of that, because it get really, really bad, as we saw what happened to this woman that obviously lost life and everything. So unfortunately, we got to deal with this, and people, all I got to do is really, really stay safe out there, because I don't want anything else to happen to somebody when it comes to immigrants and also Americans as well.
Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember to click all, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Shout out to everybody watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, Twitch, Rumble, TikTok, Bingo Live. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in on this Fresh Start Monday. Unfortunately, our channel went down on the main channel on the KL Culture Radio side, but I know later on, I know Hakeem's gonna re-upload it, so people that be watching the stream, we unfortunately apologize. We had technical issues, but we want to thank you guys for re-watching the stream. And like always, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell on the right-hand side so you never miss it when we go live. Shout out to the 80 people right now watching us on Bingo Live. Shout out to those right now watching us on TikTok, YouTube. You already know, all across the board. We really do greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in. Shout out to you, Wahai, for being here. I know Wahai, you getting ready to watch that Pittsburgh game versus Houston. I already know. If you want to ask me, I think Pittsburgh going to win it, like Hakeem said it, and I think they're going to win big. Plus, they got the home. Right now, they're at home. I didn't know they was at home. I thought they was in Houston. And they at home with that huge crowd. Pittsburgh's not losing tonight. I see them winning tonight. I'm sorry, especially with Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers is a different person in the playoffs, man. He very. Shout out to the Evelyn Perez, the first one I was in the building. Really, really do greatly appreciate you guys. And once again, we apologize for you guys for the YouTube side of the KL Culture Radio. Our stream went down. We're going to find out what went wrong, but we will be live right back again tomorrow, so don't miss out. Now that, guys, so very important to go to KL Culture Radio description. In the description where you can find the KL Culture Radio store. That's where we have the KL Culture Radio t-shirt, the hat, the coffee mug, you name it. It's all in the KL Culture Radio store. The link was put on top of the chat, but the YouTube channel is closed down, so y'all won't be able to see the link. But make sure y'all guys go to the description. That's where the KL Culture Radio store is at. Also, guys, it's so very important to go to KL Culture Radio Community Post. That's where we got Prince Hakeem, a.k.a. Broadway Fat album that's out now. You already know, before we get out of here, we got to play at least a track or two.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. Let's get it, man. We got to make this guy the biggest thing on the planet. You heard me?
Yup.
Uh-huh. I came from the struggle trying to avoid these actors. My mama told me, watch out for backstabbers. Back at it, hustling hard like Mad Hatters. My friend said, damn, you going just like a savage. Drenched in the street, my heart covered in fleas. Hung around dogs, my mama told me to leave. Swore by the gun, my homie told me to freeze. Police circle block, they got me on my knees. Can't breathe, damn little homie, I can't see. The devil in his face look like just you and me. I couldn't hear screams, the bullet ripped through his jeans. A week later, they making diss songs about the scenes. They try to run there, them goofies are straight green. The color money got these young girls up on their knees. We exploit them anytime, they just wanna be free. Shoppers free, she swallow it all, just feel the breeze. Depose them like trash and send them back to the streets. I left the game and came back, I figure I had no peace. The pain I felt aside, my homie is king disease. I'm blowing trees, hoping it might put me.
There you go, guys. The album is out now. Go and check it out. It's in the Cal Culture Radio and Community tab. Link is everywhere. So go ahead, get yourself a copy. Man. Dope album. And it is out now. Also, I King book, Raising Kings, also Black Love is out now too as well. All of that will be in the community tab. Like always, guys, thank you for tuning in to Cal Culture Radio. First Start Monday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Vertical Live Tuesday. We over and out.
Peace.
Peace.